So it was very honest the way that, being there on Sunday, seeing what was required
Right.
to not just make a service go, but being a part of it.
Yeah.
It was just so, I mean, when I tell you that I might have been in church for my whole life, but I was very green, I want to say, to all of the things that it took to make a service go. And I truly, that summer, had grown so much. Brother Hankins had asked me, hey, do you want to work with the youth? Which at that point, it was the pastor's daughter, Ashlyn, the pastor's son, Blake Hankins, who actually, shout out to my dude Blake, he's at IVC right now in his freshman semester at IVC, so I'm proud of him. Proud
That's
of both
awesome.
working in the kingdom, both of them, Blake and Ashlyn, and Sydney and Addison Phelps. Love them. Think about them all the time. And it was so crazy. It was us four. We would go and we would do stuff. And this is before Twos had moved there. So I mean, they're stuck with me. They're stuck with whatever I know how to do, and I've been a student under my dad's youth ministry, and so the games that he had played, I played 10 years later.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
It was just this incredible point where I was like, you know what, we're going to do this, we're going to build this friendship, and I grew a friendship with them.
Right.
I was 19 years old at the time. I didn't know how to quote unquote lead, but they were going to see me in service on Sunday, and they were going to know that that's how I was when we were hanging out on Friday nights.
Right.
There couldn't be a difference, because one thing that I had learned from Brother Kilman, I promise I was listening. Whether I looked like it or not, there were things that sunk in, Brother Kilman. He said in his class,
I gotta send him that part of the clip just to see what his reaction is.
Yeah, he'll be like, I'm surprised that sunk in. But he said something that I'll never forget. He said, your young people and the people that you lead will never pray more than you do. They'll never read their Bible more than you do. Right. And that got into my mind, and it sunk and grabbed a hold of my spirit, because I had to understand that these young people were, I don't want to say they were relying on me, but at times, if I'm not right, they can sense that. If I'm not prepared, they can feel that.
Right,
If show up and kind of give them my leftover time and what I crammed together Saturday night before I had to wake up and come to church, they sense that. They sense the lack of authenticity in me. And so it came to this point where I was like, okay, I've talked about this. When I was 14 years old, this is the responsibility that I committed myself to for God. Right. And so I have to be ready to do whatever it requires.
That's awesome. So this is where you are still today, correct?
Yes. We are still today in Westchester, Pennsylvania. We are the youth pastors here. We're the associate pastors here, just kind of really assisting our pastor in whatever way that we can. And so one of the things that we're really trying to do right now, we're also working in our section. We're the Section 1 youth directors. And so it's one of those things that has just grown and kind of gotten the opportunity to just be a part of what God.
That's awesome, man. That's amazing. Just again, it's to have you walk us through step by step, from the moment that you said, Lord, here I am. I'm going to take this calling that I feel from you, and I'm not going to let it go. And then the challenges that you face down the road, and then to get back up, not alone, but with God giving you that strength and putting the right people around you to help you move forward. And Absolutely. Then boom, here you are today, right, with a beautiful family, and you're still charging forward, impacting lives. I mean, DJ, I think about this, and when I think back to high school for a brief moment, and I gave my life to Christ at the age of 15 at the end of freshman year, and I remember that there came a pivotal moment going into sophomore year that I think I decided, because I loved football, You know, playing football in high school was my thing. I really wanted to focus on trying to do more on that and get better at it. And I was starting wide receiver for both years. And I remember that sophomore year while I was playing, I just felt like I didn't have enough time. You know, for the youth, I didn't feel like I had enough time. And I don't think I was a youth leader at the time, but I was at that time at the church that I was in Brewster, New York, under Pastor Byron Vetus. Not sure if you remember him, but I think if I showed you a picture, you'd probably remember him. And, you know, the second youth to get baptized and get filled with the Holy Ghost the following year, right? Like I wanted to take more and be more a part of that. It was a pivotal moment where I let go of football. I didn't play junior, I didn't play senior year, and I just told Lord, I'm going to focus more on you. And again, I don't want anyone to misinterpret anyone that's in sports today. And it was just for me personally, I couldn't find the way to balance that out at that time in my life. And thinking today and looking back, I don't regret any of those decisions. I never would have ever thought, and I'm sure you can say the same, and for everyone that we talk to and our friends, that we would be impacting and being a part of making a difference in people's life and seeing God be glorified in that process.
Absolutely. That's that powerful thought of I look back at just things where I'm like, man, I could have really handled that differently. I could have really differently. Even things where I was like, I could have made the right decision in that case, but would I still have learned what God would have wanted me to learn coming out of that situation? That it's so powerful. That's
Amen. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching the show today. If you enjoyed it, make sure to follow us and subscribe so you can stay up to date with the newest episodes, and follow us on all social media platforms, so check out the links below.